Hello, my wonderful and perfect love bug listeners, and welcome back or welcome to your new favorite show, Dear X One Last Thing. And let me give you a very special welcome because today is episode 1 of season 3. Let me ask you, did anything about today's episode seem different? Maybe in the beginning? Well, it should have. We officially have our own intro and logo, and I couldn't be more excited. If you are listening on YouTube, you could see that we have a new banner as well to match the new logo. And I have business/information cards coming, which I am incredibly excited for. And I want to show you the design for them, but I also feel like it'll just be better to wait until they're in person so I don't ruin the surprise. And I think that's what I decided on, just so they have a bit more of a wow factor to them. I'm also playing around with some editing features, editing techniques, for anyone that watches the episodes on any of the platforms. I just want to make the visual as interesting as the stories are, but I am teaching myself, so it is slow to come. Be gentle with me, as you guys always are. But yeah, I'm really just so excited to share this with you. I'm so excited that we're becoming a more polished and professional podcast and channel. And I just love that you're along for the ride to see all these changes, especially if you're one of the day one listeners. You've really seen how much the show has transformed and how much it's just going to keep transforming. So yeah, that was the big surprise that I talked about a couple episodes back that I was so excited to share with you guys. Like I mentioned before, I really don't think anyone could be more excited than me. It's just like you have this vision and you don't know if you can make it possible. And then not only does it start happening, it starts unfolding in a way that's even better than you could have expected. And it doesn't even feel real. So yeah, just super happy. I can't wait till the business cards get here. I think you all will be very pleased. Today's episode is special, of course, like all other episodes, but it's uniquely special because if you have been listening since season 1, since this podcast was the Love Bug Lounge, you might recognize this story and maybe even the characters in it. I've saved this very spicy letter for this first episode, and so without further ado, let's jump into it. Our sender is writing this letter in to an ex-partner. She was 15 when she met her ex-boyfriend, and they spent about 3 or 4 years on and off. She's now 22. She says they met in school, high school that is, and her first impression of him is that he was confident and mysterious. Before the story begins, she gives the trigger warning of domestic abuse and drug abuse. So if that is anything that you find too triggering, too uncomfortable to enjoy the story with, I just want to give you this time to go ahead and find another episode that suits you and your entertainment needs better. She gives us quite a bit of background. She says, my ex and I met in high school. Him a junior, me a freshman, and I remember the first time we met very vividly. A group of boys surrounded me and were asking me questions, rapid fire interview style, not even giving me time to answer some of the time. There was maybe 6 of them. And then all of a sudden, he walked up, they got quiet, and they parted for him to walk through and introduce himself to me. He said a corny line that I thought was charming at the time, and then turned around to leave, and they all followed and left with him. We fell into a talking phase quickly and then fell out of it almost just as fast, and the ending was angry and heated. I started to date someone else, and me and him couldn't even make eye contact at school. Then time went on, and we slowly started to hang out in the same crowd, not talking much. But then our group of friends planned a night out at a skating rink. This is another vivid memory I have of our past. I remember a friend of mine at the time warning me that he was going to be there, and I said that I didn't care because we had some cordial, almost flirty conversations the days leading up to it. A friend and I got to the skating rink before him, and then he pulled up, passenger side of his friend's car, shirt off, sun hitting his chain as it hit his chest as he rolled a J. I was young and dumb, And as soon as the car stopped, I ran to the passenger side door, opened it, and kissed him. We spent the night getting high and laughing like things never stopped for us, and that was the start of the nightmare. The relationship started out great, obviously. Love bombing, promises of forever, long makeouts, skipping class, but quickly he grew jealous. He started pushing my boundaries to see what I'd allow and what I'd listen to, and I was attached to him, so I'd do anything to keep him, and he exploited that. He started making rules for things I could and couldn't do, things I could and couldn't wear, people I could and couldn't talk to, and slowly and surely he started running my life. He'd tell me his horror stories of his childhood, and I promised him and myself that I wouldn't leave him. I wouldn't hurt him the way everyone else had. I just thought if I loved him hard enough, he could love himself. He'd stop being so mean to himself and then to me. I martyred myself, thinking I could soften him. I slowly started to lose myself to him, though, and I lost sight of who he was when I first met him. I knew I kept trying to get us back to that place when we first met, but I couldn't even really remember what it was like then. We would break up, and then he'd promise to change, and then we'd get back together, and we'd keep doing this for almost 4 years. We ultimately ended up breaking up because of his addiction. His addiction to fentanyl, it got too bad. He'd fall asleep when driving, or sometimes even just when talking, and he always promised to get help, but he never did. It's interesting. That's what finally made me leave. Not getting kicked out of my mom's, or how he used to control my sleep schedule by calling me and texting me all hours of the night on trap phones that he was giving me every time mine got taken. If I ignore him, he'd threaten to kill himself, or he wouldn't talk to me the next day because he swore I was cheating on him. But that didn't make me leave. Not the time that he choked me so hard in the hallway that I passed out and a substitute teacher saw us in the hallway and reported us, and I defended him with my life. Not me getting searched on the daily for drugs at school because the security guards thought I was hiding his. Not when my grades slipped for the first time in my life. Not the other million of disgusting and sad things that even my closest friends don't know about. After almost 4 years of ups and downs, 4 years of abuse, it was seeing him harm himself that made me leave, because I felt like that might be his only wake-up call, the only thing that might keep him alive. For a couple years after we broke up, he stole money from people or lied and told absurd and sad stories about why he needed it, swearing he'd pay them back and then he'd disappear. He said his mom had cancer, or he'd send a photo of a broken arm. He did that once to a friend of mine, sending the same photo 2 years in a row. People hit me up on Instagram threatening me because they thought we were still together, or they thought at least we were still in contact. I had at least 100 people hit me up for his whereabouts, though of course I didn't know. At one point, I heard he was trying to sell nude Polaroids of me for drug money. I mean, does it get any lower? This is only the tip of the iceberg, of course, but I think you and I are both better off if I spare all the details. I'm just ready to let go once and for all. And that's what this podcast is for, being able to let go once and for all. So, this is the letter she sends to the ex who hurt her so many years ago. She says, "Dear ex, I doubt you'll ever hear this, but then again, who knows? Because it seems like you like to keep your tabs on me from time to time. Maybe more than you'd like to admit. This will be my last hurrah to you. I've given you more time in the spotlight and in my mind and memories than you could ever deserve. You used to take up so much of my happiness, my confidence, even in ways I didn't understand. You had damaged me. You had wrecked my trust, my self-confidence, my subconscious, leaving me riddled with issues on how to trust, issues on how to set boundaries, issues on how to spot the good people from the bad, how to trust my body, my emotions, my feelings, my gut. Your treatment of me gave me nightmares and flashbacks. Any scene in a movie with abuse left me running to the toilet to puke. You made me believe I deserved you. I deserved this version of you. I deserved the way you treated me when all I was trying to do was love you, when my only goal was to help you. I tried to be the best girlfriend I could be, but I was never good enough. I look back at that version of me, of her, and I feel sorry for her, and that's why I have to do this. That's why I have to leave this letter for her. That's why I have to keep growing and getting better for her. For so long in my mind, you were this big, scary, looming entity, one I couldn't escape, a cloud over my head that secretly followed me everywhere. My memory of you had made you grow 3 times in size. It made your control inescapable, your words piercing, and made my stomach drop. But about 6 or 7 months ago, I had talked to you on the phone. I forgot how it started, Maybe you reached out for money, I'm not sure. But on the phone call, I realized how truly small you are. I've grown past the fear. I've grown past the sadness. I've even grown past the anger, and instead, all I feel for you is sympathy, maybe even pity. You took advantage of a teenage girl full of love and light, trying to set you free from your pain and fears, and you were so scared she might see you for who you truly are, who you believed yourself to be, you tried to break her. And I'm here to tell you, I'm anything but broken. I'm the most whole and the happiest I've ever been. It will maybe always bug me that you choose not to address the abuse 100% of the time. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do with an excuse, sometimes you swear you don't remember it, or you recall it perfectly, and then you say you miss it, like it was a happy time, like I'll agree with you. But soon I hope I'll learn it doesn't matter how you recall things. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you're up to because you don't matter to me anymore. And that's okay. You were just a hurt child hurting someone else smaller and softer than you, and that by no means makes it okay. But you were and are nowhere near the big, bad, cool, collected thing you disguised yourself to be. And honestly, I feel bad you even tried to disguise yourself. You felt like you had to. Anyways, enough feeling bad for you. That's enough time on air for you, and I hope you stay sober. I hope you heal. I hope you seek help in any way you can and rid yourself of your shame so you could finally see and deal with your problems and memories as they are and not as you want them to be. Until never ever again, take care. And if you hear this, don't bother reaching out. I don't owe you shit. Dare I say, my favorite letter yet. I'm always a huge fan of a rebirth, of a rebranding, of a phoenix rising from the ashes, and that's what that story is. Incredibly proud of the sender for not only being able to put those harmful memories in the past, but also still be able to see their abuser as a person, as a child who was hurt and deserved better, but knowing that that's not her problem to deal with or to fix. I think if I added any more, it would take away from the power of the message. My heart goes out to anyone who could relate to that story, to anyone that's experienced abuse at the hands of a partner, any type of abuse too, financial, emotional, mental, physical. It does such a number on your psyche for the time that you're in the relationship and the time that you're out of it. And even when you think you've healed, getting back into a relationship can be especially hard, and it could be hard to trust other people out there. So if that's you at any stage, show yourself grace, take baby steps, and be kind to yourself even when you trip up. If this letter has inspired you to send in a letter of your own, and I hope that it has, please visit the link below or visit the Instagram at Dear X One Last Thing and go ahead and click the link in bio to join or view my link tree. The very, very, very first button you see will be a link to the Google form where you could submit a letter of your own. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoyed this show, if you enjoy me, please consider leaving a review. It warms my heart, and I read all the good things you say, and I read all your comments, and it just really propels me to keep moving forward. So with that, I think that's a great place to go ahead and wrap up. I love you guys so much. Happy early Valentine's Day. I hope you guys are doing something special, and if you're in a relationship, great. If you're not, also great. Spoil yourself, take care of yourself, pamper yourself. Don't be a bah hump, but don't look at people in love and think like, I hate couples. Just shower yourself with all the love that you would shower someone else with, okay? All right. Well, that's all for now. Remember, don't text your ex. Text me instead. Until next time, love, Mia Rose.